Welcome to the Deep Dive. If you've ever sort of wondered what holds your local council together, the legal stuff behind everything from road repairs to your water bill, well, you're in the right place.
Yeah, definitely.
Today we're diving deep, really deep, into the engine room of South African local government. We're talking about the local government. Municipal Systems Act 32 of 2000, often just called the LGMSA.
And it really is the engine room. I mean, for anyone trying to get their head around how local government works here, whether you're just curious or maybe studying law, this act isn't just some dry legal text.
Right.
It's basically the operating system. It lays out what a municipality actually is and maybe more importantly, what it's supposed to do. Its whole reason for being.
Exactly. And it's not static, is it? It was signed into law way back in 2000. Bits came into effect in 2001, but it's been updated constantly right up to this year. It's a living piece of legislation.
Absolutely. It has to be to stay relevant. But to really understand the ambition behind it, you've got to look at why it was created in the first place, the context.
The preamble, right. It doesn't pull any punches.
Not at all. It flat out says the old system under apartheid failed dismally. So the new system couldn't just be about administration as usual. The Constitution demanded something completely different.
Which is?
It had to be developmental, fundamentally developmental.
And developmental means what exactly in this context?
It means its core job, its mission, is the social and economic upliftment of communities. And crucially, providing basic services, think water, sanitation, power, especially to people who were previously excluded, the poor and disadvantaged.
So that big idea, that developmental goal, shapes everything else in the act we're about to unpack.
Precisely. It's the golden thread running through it all.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The first, maybe revolutionary idea in this act is how it defines the municipality itself. It's not just a government office, is it?
No, not at all. Legally, it's defined as an organ of state, yes, but it specifically consists of two inseparable parts.
Two parts.
Yes. One part is what you'd expect. The political structures, the council, the mayor, plus the administration, the staff.
Okay.
Then the second part.
The second part is the local community, everyone living there.
Wait, hang on. The community is legally part of the municipality, not just like customers or voters.
Exactly. Legally integral. They aren't just people the municipality serves. The act defines them as part of the institution itself.
Okay, that's a big shift. So how does that actually work? What does it mean in practice if the community is part of the municipality?
Well, it forces a partnership. It's not optional. The act mandates, and I'm quoting loosely here, active engagement of communities in the affairs of municipalities.
Active engagement. So it's a two-way street, rights and responsibilities on both sides.
Precisely. The act lays out clear duties for the council, things like governing properly, being accountable, providing services, and importantly, doing it in a way that's financially and environmentally sustainable. They can't just spend recklessly or ignore environmental impacts. That's a legal duty. And for the community members, for you listening, what are the rights?
You have the right to actually contribute to decisions, not just be told about them. The right to get prompt responses when you raise issues. The right to see the municipality's books, basically regular disclosure of their affairs, including the finances. And, of course, the right to access municipal services.
Sounds good. But you mentioned duties for the community, too.
Yes. There's a crucial flip side. Section 5.2. You have a duty to follow the municipality's procedures, like how to lodge a complaint properly. And, the big one, the duty to pay your service fees, rates, and taxes promptly.
Ah, the money part.
Well, yes, obviously there are provisions for indigent households who can't pay. That's part of the developmental mandate. But for those who can, paying is framed as a core community duty to make the whole system work. It's reciprocal.
And the admin staff. The
Yeah.
permanent officials, they have specific duties, too.
Absolutely. Section 6 is clear. They must be responsive. They need to foster a culture of public service, actively prevent corruption, and give you full and accurate information about service levels. No hiding the ball. It sets a really high ethical bar.
Okay, so we've got this structure. Council, admin, and community, all legally bound together with rights and duties. Where does the actual planning come in? How does the municipality decide what to do?
Right. That brings us to Chapter 5 and the Integrated Development Plan, the IDP.
The IDP, you hear that acronym thrown around a lot.
You do, and it's central. Think of
Yeah.
the IDP as the municipality's single main strategic plan. It's meant to be the one document that guides all planning, all development, all major decisions.
The master plan, basically.
Kind of, yeah, more like the strategic GPS. If something significant, like a big infrastructure project, isn't rooted in the IDP, theoretically it shouldn't get funded.
And the budget has to follow it.
Strictly. The Act says the annual budget must be based on the IDP. It forces that link between planning and spending.
What has to be in this IDP? What are the key ingredients?
Well, Section 26 lays it out. It needs a long-term vision, sure, but critically, it must include an assessment identifying which communities lack access to basic municipal services.
So it forces them to look at inequality first.
Exactly. It mandates starting the planning by mapping out who's being left behind. That assessment then has to inform the rest, the spatial plans for where things should go, and crucially, a proper financial plan.
Including budget projections.
Yes, usually a 3-year projection showing how they intend to fund the IDP's goals, especially closing those service gaps. It connects the developmental vision directly to the financial reality.
And how is this IDP developed? Is it just the officials drawing it up?
No, that's another key part. The Act requires alignment with national and provincial plans, naturally, but it also mandates detailed processes for community consultation. The local community must be allowed to participate in the drafting of the plan.
Participate in the drafting, not just comment afterwards.
That's the requirement. How well it happens in practice? Well, that varies, but the legal framework is there for genuine co-creation.
Okay, so you have the plan, the IDP. How do you make sure it actually happens? That leads to performance management, right? Chapter 6.
Precisely. Planning is one thing, execution is another. Every municipality must set up a performance management system.
What does that involve?
It means setting clear objectives linked to the IDP, establishing key performance indicators, KPIs, and measurable targets for achieving them. Concrete goals.
So you can actually track progress.
Yes, and crucially, Section 41 says the system must be designed to act as an early warning indicator if things are going wrong. It's meant to spot underperformance before it becomes a crisis.
Proactive, not reactive.
That's the intent, and to keep everyone honest.
An audit.
Yes, the performance measurements have to be audited annually by the Auditor General, and the municipality has to produce an annual performance report, available to the public, showing how they did against their targets and what they're doing to improve.
So a full accountability cycle. Plan, perform, measure, report, adjust.
That's the loop the Act sets up.
All right, let's move from planning and performance measurement to the actual services. The water coming out of the tap, the rubbish being collected. What does the Act say about service delivery itself?
Chapter 8 deals with this. Section 73 lays down the general duty. Municipal services must be equitable, accessible, financially sustainable, and environmentally sustainable.
Lots of balancing acts there. Equitable and financially sustainable can sometimes seem like opposites.
They can be, which is why the Act tries to provide tools. But the overriding principle is clear. The priority must be meeting the basic needs of the local community.
And how does the Act handle the cost? That brings us to tariffs, doesn't it? Section 74, the tariff policy.
Yes, this is fundamental. The policy has to ensure a few things. Generally, users should be treated equitably, and the amount you pay should be, broadly speaking, proportional to how much you use.
Makes sense. Pay for what you use.
But, and this is crucial for that developmental mandate, it explicitly requires a focus on social equity. Poor households must have access to at least basic services.
How does it ensure that? Through special tariffs.
Exactly. The policy must provide for mechanisms like special tariffs, or what are often called lifeline tariffs. These are typically for a basic, minimal level of consumption.
And how are those priced?
For the poorest households, these lifeline tariffs might be set to cover only the operating and maintenance costs, or even be subsidized further. The capital costs are essentially covered by other revenue streams or grants. It's the legal tool to make basic services affordable for everyone, implementing that constitutional right.
So, lifeline tariffs for basic needs, and then, presumably, standard tariffs reflecting full cost for usage above that basic level.
Generally, yes. The tariffs overall need to reflect the full costs, capital, operating, maintenance, replacement, to ensure the service is financially sustainable in the long run. It's a constant balancing act.
Now, municipalities don't always deliver these services directly using their own staff, do they? They can use external providers.
That's right. Section 76 allows for services to be provided through internal mechanisms like a municipal department or external mechanisms. Could be a separate company owned by the municipality, A municipal entity, another government body, a community group, or controversially sometimes, a private company through outsourcing or a partnership.
But choosing to go external isn't just a simple decision, is it? Section 78 seems quite strict.
Very strict. If a municipality wants to use an external mechanism, especially a private company, they have to follow a very detailed process. It requires a comprehensive feasibility study.
What does that study look like?
It has to assess the financial implications, obviously, but also the potential environmental impact and, critically, the impact on job creation and local economic development.
And it mentions organized labor.
Yes, securing the views of organized labor is a mandatory part of that process before the decision is made. It tries to ensure worker and community impacts are considered upfront.
But even if they do outsource, say, waste collection to a private company, who is ultimately responsible?
This is key, Section 81. The municipality always remains responsible for ensuring the services provided. They can delegate the doing, but not the ultimate accountability to the community.
Okay. And finally, in this section, what about collecting the money? Chapter 9, credit control and debt collection.
Right. The Act requires a proper customer management system. Think regular, accurate bills and clear, accessible ways for people to query their accounts or lodge disputes. Basic fairness.
And the debt collection part.
The policy needs clear procedures for debt collection. But importantly, it also must make provision for indigent debtors, those genuinely unable to pay. It has to align with the tariff policy's lifeline approach.
But it also allows for cutting services.
Yes, the policy must also detail measures for restricting or cutting off services for non-payment after following due process, of course. It's that tough balance again, rights versus financial viability.
Okay, for our last section, let's look at some of the really high-stakes parts of the Act. The administration's structure, rules for staff, and the bits with serious legal bite. Let's start with the municipal manager, the MM. That sounds like a tough job.
It's arguably one of the most demanding roles in the public sector. Section 55 defines the MM's dual function.
Dual function.
Yep. First, they're the head of administration. That means they run the whole administrative side of the municipality, responsible for efficiency, implementing the IDP, managing staff, discipline, advising the politicians, the day-to-day operations chief.
Okay, head of admin, what's the second function?
They are also the accounting officer. This is huge. It means they are personally responsible, legally, for all the municipality's money, income, spending, assets, debts, and ensuring compliance with the other big law, the Municipal Finance Management Act, or MFMA.
Wow, so they have to execute the political vision from the IDP, but also be the hard-nosed financial controller. That sounds like built-in tension.
It absolutely is. And Chapter 7 adds another layer by trying to ensure some political neutrality, especially at the top.
How so?
Well, Section 56A is clear. Municipal managers and the senior managers who report directly to them are not allowed to hold political office in a political party. You can't be the MM and also, say, a regional party chairperson.
Trying to separate the professional administration from party politics.
That's the goal. It aims for decisions based on the IDP and the law, not party directives.
And what about ethics for all municipal staff?
Schedule 2 provides a code of conduct. It covers the basics: loyalty to the lawful policies, honesty, transparency, but also specifics like avoiding personal gain. You can't make decisions where you or someone close to you has a direct financial interest. And you have to disclose benefits from municipal contracts. Standard anti-corruption stuff, but codified.
And if staff break these rules, especially involving money?
The consequences can be severe. Section 57A introduced really strict rules, particularly around dismissals for misconduct. If you're dismissed for financial misconduct, corruption, or fraud, you face a 10-year ban on being reemployed by any municipality in South Africa.
10 years. That's serious.
It's meant to be a major deterrent and to stop people dismissed for corruption simply moving to another town's payroll.
Okay, now for what might be the Act's most powerful tool, the one that really affects property owners and banks.
Yeah.
Section 118, the restraint on transfer of property.
Ah, yes, Section 118. This is where the Act shows its teeth in the real world every single day.
Explain it. What does it do?
In simple terms, it says that the deeds office, the place that registers property sales, cannot register the transfer of a property from a seller to a buyer unless they get a certificate from the municipality.
Certificate saying what?
Saying that all amounts due for municipal services, rates, and taxes for the 2 years immediately before the application date have been fully paid. Water, electricity, refuse, rates, everything for the last 24 months must be settled.
So if you owe the municipality money from the last 2 years, You simply cannot sell your house.
Correct. No certificate, no transfer. The sale gets blocked until that debt is cleared. It's the municipality's ultimate leverage to get paid before property changes hands.
But what about debt older than 2 years? Does that just disappear?
No, and this is the part that really worries banks. While the 2-year rule blocks the transfer, the Act states that all outstanding municipal debt, no matter how old, constitutes a charge upon the property itself.
A charge upon the property, like a lien.
Exactly. And crucially, the Act says this municipal debt enjoys preference over any mortgage bond registered against the property.
Whoa. Preference over the mortgage. So if the property is sold, say, in execution.
The municipality gets paid first, before the bank that holds the mortgage bond gets a cent, even for debt that's 5 or 10 years old.
That's incredible power. It basically secures the municipality's income stream against the value of the property itself.
It does. It's a powerful, sometimes controversial mechanism designed to ensure municipalities can recover costs and remain financially viable, which ultimately underpins their ability to deliver those developmental services.
Wow. Okay, putting it all together, the LGMSA is this incredibly intricate piece of law, isn't it? It connects the high-level planning of the IDP,
With the social justice aspect of things like lifeline tariffs,
adds strict financial rules for the municipal manager and staff.
and then gives the municipality that ultimate financial security blanket with Section 118.
It really does seem like a coherent system, all aimed at achieving that initial goal we talked about, developmental local government.
That's the design, certainly. The Act explicitly aims for, and I think the phrase used is something like, a more harmonious relationship between municipal councils, municipal administrations, and the local communities, built on that foundation of transparency, participation, and mutual obligations we discussed.
Rights and duties on all sides.
Exactly.
So thinking about that partnership, since this act legally frames you, the listener, the community member, as an actual part of the municipality, here's final thought to maybe mull over. The law gives you rights to participate, to access basic services, maybe through lifeline tariffs, to hold the municipality accountable through things like the performance reports. Given all that, and the corresponding duty to participate and pay if you can, what specific actions could you take, starting today as one of these integral partners, to help make that developmental vision of the LGMSA a reality where you live?
Maybe start by looking up your municipality's latest IDP or their annual performance report online. Now you know why they exist and what they're supposed to tell you.
Exactly. Food for thought.